Hey Sagittarius, this is your March 2016 astrology horoscope for anyone who has their ascendant, sun or moon in Sagittarius. And I have a short announcement. I've just created a new website. It will be online probably by the end of February. And it's astrolada.com again, but it's been renewed and it's much sleeker, more modern, very different than the previous one, with all the same information and even new models, modules, sorry, not models, new psychics and astrologers, amazing astrologers I found from around the world. So you can check out this new website. It's much easier to navigate. And also a friend of mine has translated and created an Astrolada Spain, a website in Spanish basically, and I'm putting the address of Astrolada Spain here. If you're Spanish speaking, maybe you find it easier to communicate with psychics and astrologers in Spanish. She sources them out. I just give the name and some of the articles and videos there. But she works with very good astrologers and psychics that are Spanish speaking, and she offers Spanish horoscopes and Spanish services and Spanish astrology reports. So for any of you who are interested, for whom English is not such an easy language. Anyway, what does March hold for you, Sagittarius? So it's a month of a lot of changes. Because your whole horoscope is being triggered by the angles. All the six planets, all the 7 visible planets, Sun, Moon, we consider them planets in astrology, Venus, Mercury, Mars, Saturn and Jupiter, will be on angles. But it's like the backbone of the horoscope, on a cross, you know. And if this is you here, Sagittarius, then there will be planets in your sign, Saturn and Mars. There will be planets in your 4th house and in your 10th house. First house is you. 4th house is your private life, your emotional happiness, your family, place of living. 10th house is your career. You know, and these are the angles of the horoscope. And 7th house is relationships. They're all getting triggered by planets. So it's a very happening month. A lot of shifts. When angles are being triggered by transiting planets in your horoscope, you get activated, you get pushed into action. So it's time for some kind of new beginnings. It's time for shifting, for changing, just like the angles, you know, they correspond to the first month of a season, basically. And the first month of a season pushes in new energy, pushes in new experiences and new initiative, and the weather starts changing in a big way. That's why they're called the houses of change. So that's the overall what to expect. March will be happening. First of all, how can it get triggered? You get triggered by Mars and by Saturn simultaneously. Mars comes and joins Saturn in your sign, and it's going to be there till June for 3 months. March, April, May, 3 long months, and it's going to turn retrograde. But I'm going to talk about the retrograde phase of Mars in your sign in April videos, which I'll post at the beginning of March. But I just want to give you an overall feeling how March will proceed. So Mars coming into your sign from the beginning of March starts raising up your energy, starts raising up your initiativeness. You start becoming more driven, more ambitious. And Saturn, the planet of seriousness and responsibility, is already in your 1st house. So join responsibility and discipline, self-discipline, with ambition and drive. And it's like, it's an explosive combination, you know. And actually you feel quite harsh towards yourself. Especially the early born Sagittarius, those that are born the first part of Sagittarius, like the first 10-15 degrees. So the November born Sagittarius will feel that very strongly in March. Also Sagittarians that are born the first 5-6 days of December as well, or those who have their ascendant or their moon from around 0 to 15 degrees, they start getting charged up. They start feeling inner awakening forces that push them. Your inner teacher and criticizer starts awakening, and your inner disciplinarian military marshal guy, which is Mars, like a general, starts pushing you from within. Take changes, do something about your life. Whatever is not working right, you will change it through your willpower, which is Mars, over the next 3 months. There will be a huge, I'll make the next month video mostly about that. But you're starting to feel those energies, these drives, this energizing, and actually you feel quite provoked as well. You'll be, because Mars makes you more reactive, more quick to react, more quick to anger as well. But also, this is the energy that drives us to get things done, to make changes, to have breakthroughs, to initiate things, to get physically active. If you haven't had energy now, you start picking up this energy more and more. The most of March you'll feel that, you know, especially those early 15 degrees. The later one, not so much, but they'll start feeling the awakening as well, the awakening of their juices, so to speak. And and at the same time, you're very pushy. You start becoming pushy and ambitious and proactive and assertive with your goals, even to the detriment of stepping on others' toes or aggravating, especially authority figures, because those planets, Saturn and Mars, are going to make a difficult aspect to Jupiter in your 10th house of authority. And at the same time to your 4th house planets, all the planets that are transiting your 4th house of personal life. So those changes you're initiating might affect you, those nearest and dearest to you in a funk. They can react to your new, more adventurous spirit, which is what Mars will bring. They can react. They can the situation in family can be a little bit unsettled because of that, and also with authority figures, father figures, parents, or bosses. You know, or your demands at work might interfere with your personal needs and domestic needs and what you're doing at home, your private life, because there is this tension between planets up and down, career and personal life, and yourself as well. They make this like almost like on a stretched on a cross. But again, these are the houses of initiation, so you can initiate changes in your private life with all those 4 planets there. The Sun, Moon, Venus, and Mercury at certain moment will be in your 4th house. So you might make changes, something to do with your place of living, something to do with your decoration inside. You might do some changes in your family. And new beginnings will come for you, Sagittarius, in regards to your personal life, because there is a solar eclipse happening in your 4th house. And solar eclipse is active for about 6 months, a month and a half before, 2 months before the exact eclipse. So you might be feeling it already in February. In March, for sure, quite a few Sagittarius will feel that. And then the next 6-7 months might continue to indicate changes that are happening, new beginnings, because new solar eclipses bring new beginnings. The Sun and the Moon come together and they create something new in regards to your personal family life. So over the next 6-7 months, you might, you know, decide to buy a new property, or to, or you might probably first have to let go of some property, you know, because to make space of something new, you have to let go of something old. So it might be a little bit disruptive. Some of you might find that they have to leave because they're tenant or landlord or something, or some of you might have to sell the flat or whatever. Some of you might decide all of a sudden that they want to buy a new flat or something like that. Or to relocate, or to change something in their home or place of living. And you can implement it over the next 6 months to 1 year. Or relocations can happen as well, or change of family members, or change in the relation, new beginnings in regards to your personal life, in regards to settling down, new beginnings in regards to place that you want to live in, new beginnings in regards to something in your private life, what brings you happiness. The 4th house is the house of happiness, what nurtures us, what nurtures our soul and our feelings. No matter how much money you have, if your 4th house is bad, you'll never feel happy. These are the people that they can have everything in their life and they always feel unhappy. And also, inner happiness is a subjective feeling, like the 4th house, and it gets very strongly activated for you for March. So you'll be paying attention. You want to build new beginnings, and the universe will allow new opportunities for you in regards to you finding what makes you personally happy. And it's usually, everyone on their deathbed says, like, the most important thing in my life was my family and the close emotional connections I formed. This is the fourth house. This is true happiness. And the inner balance and peace of mind I have. So you might try and find new ways to achieve peace of mind. You might be allowed, the universe might bring into you as an opportunity new ways of balancing feelings, new ways of fulfilling your emotional needs as well. And this can entail even breaking up close emotional relationships with family members or other people that are not making you happy, for example, But anyway, this is where one of the eclipses is happening, new beginnings in fourth house. It can be anything from relocations to shifting your emotional happiness, to shifting the dynamics of your family, to shifting properties and things like that in place of living. And but there is definitely a focus on family, whether it's parents or whatever, or your personal family, personal life. In March, it's intensifying, and in what makes you happy. If it's not outer experience, it will be the inner manifestation of the house. The inner manifestation of fourth house, we said again, it's feeling emotional, finding inner emotional happiness. Some of you might want to spend more time at home or something like that. But there will be provocations because, like your career life, there is a planet there that's opposing all those planets in the fourth house of your personal life. So there is demands there in your career life, in your social status life, or from authority figures that can create tension between your personal life and provocations. And this career authority or a career situation or extra responsibilities at work is also triggering the first house where Saturn and Mars are, which the first house is you, so it is putting some extra duties or responsibilities on you that you might be stressing a little bit about, and in your family personal life. But at the same time, it might be something else, like your family putting this pressure on your career and on you. Or it can come from you, from Saturn and Mars in your first house, like you deciding to change things, to get initiative, to become more assertive, to push through with your own agenda, so that impacts, that kind of creates some shifts and needs for adjustments in your family, personal life, them having to come to terms with that, and even making changes in your place of living, or having to provocations that this new approach of yours creates with authority figures. It can just, those three themes will be mixed up together because of the activations of planets from those houses. Or some authority figure can be putting, or you might be becoming more ambitious to achieve your career goals in some way as well. And this can put pressure on personal relationships and family and stuff like that. Okay, but this definitely activating month, exciting, new things happening around you, new adventures of sorts, and you taking some big decisions in regards to personal life, in regards to what makes you happy, what to live in your life and what to let go. New opportunities that come in such directions. And let's see, and there will be another such month for you in June, even more intense, but we'll speak about that later. And then Sagittarius, there is another eclipse, which is the full lunar eclipse. The solar eclipse is in your fourth house. We talked about that. The full lunar eclipse happens to be in your 11th house now. Yes, in your 11th house in Libra, which immediately indicates that full eclipse is about seeing something come to fruition, seeing the results of certain actions. So they can be like more spotlight on you in regards to popularity. 11th house is popularity, how you're perceived by your social circle, how do you receive social recognition. So if you've worked hard, or if you've put efforts in some public recognition that you'd like, into some acceptance into groups, or recognition from groups of people, or reaching out a wider audience, or influencing larger groups of people, and seeing the results of those actions, or having some goals like receiving a title, honor, rewards, 11th house rules, rewards. Now you can see the results of those things. So if you've been working hard for the past 1 or 2 years or a few months in such a direction to get accepted into a membership, into a group, to get recognition for something you've created, public recognition, to get, now you'll see the results of your efforts, and they'll be proportionate to the efforts you've put, because a lunar eclipse is the moon, full moon. Full moon, which reflects the sun of the light. So the same way the results of your actions will be reflected according to the will that you put, into those things. So you can see results, and they can be a completion or like a peak in a friendship, for example. They can be like a peak experience with a friendship or with social circle in some sort. Or you might actually say, okay, I've some kind of a awareness, emotional, very powerful, emotionally intense moments with friends or people from your social circle as well, because that's the 11th house. Also very powerful realizations about certain friendships in your life or certain social groups. Emotional realizations. This is what a full moon does. It brings emotional awareness of your needs. So you can realize what your needs are in friendships or with people that you consider friends in your social circle, and you can search and you can express those emotional needs, and you can have very intense bonding, emotionally highlighted moments with such people. And in worst case scenario, if you're no longer happy with something, some kind of a social situation, some kind of a friendship, you can express it, because this is a solar eclipse, a lunar eclipse. Lunar eclipse is very expressive. The person, like when it's full moon, people express all the emotions over the top. With the lunar eclipse, it's triple the influence. Or even a friend of yours can be more emotional and need your energy there. But overall, you can become much more, you can get some public recognition, you can get some center stage position in such kind of groups and roles, like friendships and such activities. Be more involved with like-minded people, group activities again in some sort, friendships as well, and see the results of some long-term goal that you've been going after, because 11th house rules our goals and dreams and wishes. If you've had some long-term goal you've been working towards, you see the results now, very likely, or you have a realization about it. Okay, that's how the eclipses are impacting you and most of the planets. So definitely happening month, definitely a lot of activation, they might be a bit stressful, it might some, pressing buttons around, and big shifts in those major areas of your life. But ultimately everything is for the good. Now it's time for action, so go for it. Thank you.